at all that you can possibly have. Let's go out to the National Weather Service's headquarters right now in Guam. If you've never been there, it's over in Tidzin. It's the place where like all those really huge golf balls are, as they are so often misclassified, where Landon Aydlett has probably been up since 2 o'clock analyzing charts, going over multiple screens. I'm so jealous because he's got every single kind of computer known to man. And Landon, how... I know you and your family are very, very close. You guys were generous enough, your family was, to share your family Christmas with us and everything. Wow. But I know, in particular, you're very, very close to your mom.
Oh, yeah, very close. We're a very close-knit family, despite the 8,000 miles between us and them. But I've been on the phone with my mom and my stepmom, and I have to call my grandmother in a little bit, probably after this broadcast, before she goes to bed. But yeah, we're a very close-knit family. And so we have to maintain these close relations, especially with my brother and me being way over here on the other side of the globe.
Who talks to your mother, your stepmother, and your grandmother more, you or your brother?
I don't know. I don't monitor my brother's phone lines since we split apart in different residences years ago.
and you said that even though you and your twin brother Brandon is older, right? By like what, 7 minutes? You said.
Yeah, he's older by 12 minutes.
12 minutes, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, we like to stay in touch. And unfortunately, with our job, we don't get over there to the East Coast too often. So with our contract, we get a trip called home leave. Since we're an overseas post with the Weather Service, we get a home leave every 2 years with a new contract. So I am scheduled to go home to visit late July through August. And then I'll be back for the entirety of typhoon season. I don't want to be away from the region during typhoon season. I want to be here hands-on for all the weather that happens. But yeah, I look forward to my trip, July and August, to visit family. And then my brother will probably head home around Christmas, January, early next year. So we'll see.
Well, we really appreciate the dedication and the devotion you've made to teaching our community about like what the weather has in store for us and everything. And as the beneficiaries of that, we want to salute you and say like thanks for all you do. But I know, as I said, as testament to that, you've probably been at this for like, I mean, it's only barely even 8:30 now, and you've probably been doing this already for like 5-6 hours already.
Yeah, I slept in until 3 o'clock this morning, so it was actually refreshing, since usually I used to be in here doing this broadcast at 6:30 in the morning. So now having that extra time, I can check emails.
You're welcome.
Relax. Yeah. So I have to shut my blinds now because it's daylight out there. So yeah, it's
bright light.
All right. Enough chit chat. Let's clock in and get down to official business here.
Yes.
Work week weather brought to you by Docomo with Landon Aydlett. Go ahead, Landon.
Now, you were close, Chris, earlier this morning talking about the showers. There are definitely showers out there today, but more so for Tinian and Saipan. This is our water vapor showing that the moist atmosphere in the blue and the yellow, the drier atmosphere. So you see all the stuff moving in from the west. That is not, we're not in a monsoon. This is the upper level stuff, like 30 and 40,000 feet up. So we have strong westerlies in the upper level, but it's all trade winds below 25,000 feet. And that's what we're going to be seeing for much of the week. Now, if you go down to the south, my goodness, there is just abundant moisture down there. And that's going to be the case, at least for the next 1 to 2 weeks. We do have a disturbance down there, east-southeast of Plau. Talk about that shortly. But abundant moisture all the way across the viewing area from 130 to the date line across Micronesia. And the visible imagery, this is showing what's actually at the surface. You can see that easterly moving trade winds. This is the showers. Sorry about the reflection in the screen, but these are the showers. A lot of that scattered shower activity, that's the coverage that's increased from isolated. That's primarily across Tinian and Saipan, kind of like what we were seeing on Guam the last couple of days. A little bit drier for Guam, so not so bad. But we're going to see those showers. They won't be sticking around for long. It's going to come across the island, be a quick soaker, and move right off. And they'll probably be accompanied with winds upwards of 25 to 30 knot gusts. But the rainfall gradient, this is the 10-day numerical forecast model, accumulated rainfall over the next 10 days. And you see that tight gradient, much drier for Guam and the CNMI, but all that red moisture, that's indicating about a foot of rain or more for most of Micronesia below 10 degrees north latitude. So we could see a little bump in some of the moisture later this weekend come up closer, but really not much to speak of as far as like any major weather. So go to the slides, Jason.
Yes, sir.
We'll cue that up. And of course, the first slide, I have a lot of photos from my mom and my grandmother and my stepmother in support of Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to my mom, my stepmom, and my grandmother. These are pictures of when they were here on Guam. My stepmother at the bottom center. She's on the Carabao.
I was going to say, she's riding the Carabao.
She had a blast and she was squilling the entire time. And I think she's probably watching us right now from Elizabeth City. So and she's probably hating me right now, as well as my mom. You see that little picture of my mom just on the right-hand center. She's in the closet of her house. That's where she goes to take cover when there's thunder and lightning. So I don't know where we got the weather genes, because if there's thunder and lightning, we don't want to be in a closet. We want to be outside and observing it. So yeah, they probably are both mad at me for showing these pictures, but many great memories. We miss you all. And so it's great to share this experience with our family again. The next slide, Jason, the headlines, not much to speak of out there. And that's rare, and it's pleasurable for us because we can actually take care of other duties as needed on shift. Moderate risk of rip currents primarily along the east-facing reefs. If we have a slight surge in winds, that could bump up to high risk of rip currents along the east-facing reefs. The fire danger is down to moderate because of the rainfall we've had over the last 3 days. And the moderate drop does continue, but it could be analyzed for slight improvement. Micronesia, drought information statement continues, and we are watching an invest area 96W. That is rated as sub-low by the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. Next slide, current conditions, east winds about 8 to 10 miles per hour. Those winds will increase through today as the trade winds bump in from the east, and I'll show you that shortly later. Partly to mostly cloudy skies with isolated showers across Guam and scattered showers north of us in the CNMI. Current temperature 81 degrees, and we are running above average for the month of May in rainfall. So the next slide, this is the regional picture. What we're looking at, 96W is centered southeast of Koror, and that's going to be moving slowly westward. It could be passing near or just south of Palau later this week. The prognosis for it, we don't expect much intensification with this system. It's a very disorganized and weak system, and we expect it to remain so as it moves through the Palau region and then on towards southern Philippines. So that's the good news for them, but we will be watching this closely over the next several days for any development. And again, the next slide shows this is the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. It is not posted on the webpage as it's rated as sub-low. And that's basically, we're watching it. There's a low level circulation. We'll be gathering information on it. This shows a polar orbiting satellite showing the winds over the waters. Lighter winds to our west, all those blue areas, those wind barbs, those are 10 to 15 mile per hour winds with much stronger trades east of Guam and Saipan, 15 to 20 knots across much of the area with areas of 20 to 25 knots. That's going to be coming our way in the week ahead of us. So expect it to be a typical drier trade wind pattern, breezy at times over the next week or so. And the next slide shows that close-in picture of the week's disturbance well south of Yap and Nulu. Not much to speak of. The strongest winds right now are on the southeast side of that circulation, about 15 to 20 knot winds with some pockets of stronger winds, but just very disorganized, and that's the good news. As long as it stays disorganized, it won't be much of a problem for folks in Palau. Next slide, sea conditions. Combined seas at 5 to 7 feet, primarily of an east trade wind swell at 4 to 6 feet. We don't expect much deviation from this current pattern in the seas, at least for the next week. So we're going to see much change in seas and surf as the trade winds persist through the next several days. So the week ahead, today, partly to mostly sunny, isolated showers for Guam, more showers for the CNMI, east winds at 15 to 20 miles per hour. Combined seas 5 to 7 feet and winds east at 15 to 20 knots over the waters. The surf will be at east at 6 to 8 feet. Once that surf reaches 9 feet, if it does this week, that's when we have a high risk of rip currents along east-facing reefs. So we're just about borderline. North reefs 2 to 4 feet. Midweek, partly cloudy, isolated showers. Winds east at 15, 20 miles per hour. Combined seas holding steady at 5 to 7 feet. In the weekend, we could have another weak trade wind disturbance bring more showers for the weekend, and the winds will still be up there as we go into the weekend. So that's all I have for you this morning. And I hope Sabrina's having a great time in quarantine at the hotel.
Yeah, Landon,
Looks
kind
very
of
luxurious.
interesting. Yeah, Landon, obviously she's still in quarantine right now, but the moment she left, it started raining, and then when she came back, the weather got pretty dry. So quite literally, ain't